Hello, everybody. Hello, Helen.
Welcome back for what's our second time back this year.
I know.
However, it's almost school time. It's Thursday, Friday, Monday. The kids come back to school.
Yay. I'm quite excited.
Real students.
I know. So let's have a look at what we've been up to and what we've got ready for you in the holidays.
So Coach in the Class has telling you to go shopping on their website to have a look at what's for sale.
Ooh, that looks exciting. We've got grade 4 and 6 material ready, up and running with beautiful interactive digital, everything included, fantastic, even assessments. I must say the teachers that have looked at our stuff,
Have bought it.
A, they bought it, and B, they've gone, what? Is everything here? That's ridiculous, that price.
Everything. So as we keep stating, we're skills-based, and in this very first lesson that we would just like to give you a dip into, an insight into what has been produced, is that in this very first lesson, all of these skills have been ticked off because we are very skills-orientated. Today we're going to have a quick look at a grade 4 lesson. It's the fourth lesson of 27 lessons for the priceless sum of 350 Rand.
Wow.
And it's the lesson on introducing the 7 life processes, which if you remember are the feeding, growing, reproducing, breathing, excreting. Here's a full lesson note on how to run the whole lesson. However, we're going to run it with you and show it to you in a moment.
Just to remind you that all of our lessons have 3 components. There's the ZTech path, where you don't need anything more than your computer at school and possibly a projector. Everything's printable, etc. Going all the way to the tech loaded, where your children might have their own devices, and then they can go online and do this fantastic mind map on MindMeister.
Fabulous. Options for everybody. Of course, all the worksheets are included, but today, let's go and have a look at the mind mapping fun physical worksheets that are available.
So this is actually a sorting worksheet that we're going to use, and it's a game.
Sorting, classifying game, and we're learning the 7 life processes at the same time.
And a whole lot of other skills that are sort of incidental to this whole process, but that are extremely important. So we're going to tip our little camera down. Hopefully I don't...
So all these cards are in your pack. You merely have to print them out. And we've actually laminated them, but it's certainly not essential. So the first task that it asks you to do is to put these cards into any category that you like. Now, why any category, Rob?
Well, we don't want to, picking out criteria is quite a difficult skill. And if we always just tell them what the criteria are, they never work it out for themselves. And if you ask them to do it, it's actually really tricky because they want to go, well,
what
legs,
must I do, teacher?
Not only that, they'll go, okay, let's choose legs as one category and wings as another. And then they realize, well, a bird fits into both. So now which category must I put it into?
So we could morph and change these categories.
Yes, exactly.
So we're given absolute fun to go and say, this is a moth, it flies, so I want it to be there. This is a fish, it swims. I want it to be separate. This is a fire. It's really odd.
Now, I mean, an acorn's quite an interesting thing because it could go with the moth thing because it also flies, or does it just fall?
It falls. So I would put it with plants. Let's start a category for plants.
But plants are living and growing.
Ooh, so maybe non-living plants. And yeah, so look, here's a plant, but it's also not living anymore. Can that go with the acorn?
Maybe, yeah.
And then seaweed is perhaps growing, living. So we're going to leave that one there. Algae, should I say. Lichen. Moss, these are all growing plants.
Like mushrooms.
Oh, that's
Mushrooms.
difficult
Weird.
one.
It's kind of a plant.
Well, it's kind of like a plant, although it is, mushrooms are their own category, but I would say plants and mushrooms. So put it with the plants, Rob.
Do you think it goes with moss?
Definitely,
it's kind of like a moss
yes.
thing, yeah.
And this crab could go with fish, although his body shape is totally different. Absolutely. And here's sea. That could also go there.
Yes.
Starfish, sea. But I want something else to fly. There's a butterfly. Oops, I've dropped one, but fortunately they're easy to handle. A snake. We haven't had an animal. And a frog could go together. But the snake lives on land and the frog doesn't.
What about a fertilized egg?
Whoa, that's a difficult one. Why do they? And an empty shell. That's also very difficult.
Because it was alive, but I mean, the shell.
Okay. Let's not spend too much time on this because the first task is to have fun doing that.
Yes, just
the
work playing with the categories.
Is to now home in on living and non-living. And so you're going to have this sheet printed for your children to play with, or simply a big piece of newsprint with an intersecting thing. And then if we take these and we say, coal, is that living or non-living?
Well, it's not living now.
But it once was.
Exactly. It's just
and a plant,
definitely
that's living. Bird, living.
But how are we deciding this?
Oh, very true. So we've got to actually know something about it. And there is a little video which tells you that you need that the 7 life forms are feeding, growing, reproducing. So we'd say, for example, this egg, it doesn't reproduce, it does breathe if it's fertilized.
Oh, but if it's not, well, then it doesn't.
Yes, so it's a very tricky one. And if the kids left it in the middle, I'd be happy with that. A Christmas tree over here is definitely living because it feeds from the ground, it grows, it reproduces by dropping little pine cones, it breathes carbon dioxide during the day, breathes out carbon dioxide, it excretes carbon dioxide, it senses,
definitely the sunlight.
Definitely, and then it moves. Trees don't move.
Well, of course they do, because they've got roots that grow and move.
And leaves that turn towards the sun and away from the sun.
Exactly.
So it's going to create such an awesome debate amongst the children.
And lots of discussion and asking questions and what if and is this and that my opinion is, how many times do we give children a chance to express what they are thinking?
Totally. And then the third activity is now to only look at those 7 characteristics of living things. So we get rid of all the non-living things. And now we're allowed to arrange only the living things. So whatever here isn't living, we're going to toss. And now, like, this chair will be gone. And now we're actually going to, just with the living, make our own thing. Those are slimy water things. And again, it's your own categories. Now, if you were doing MindMaster, you could create a mind map. Okay. And if you don't have MindMaster, well, then here it all is. And the fact that we've got all these cards, kids can play with them when they've finished work.
And you can use them again and again, because you might do something else where you've got to use categories.
And they're going to be brought back again when we do habitats, because we need to look at these animals and where they live.
So let's come back on the screen with our beautiful faces.
If you haven't been to Coach in the Glasses website, you need to go. It's going to be your saving grace for this year. You might be able to get to the beach, you might be able to cook supper, and you might be able to see your family.
Do you have one of those, Helen?
Yes, you seldom see me. So if you don't hesitate, go and have a look. The 8 lessons for history and geography sell for 150. And the science, 8 lessons of science is 24 lessons, sells for 350. It's awesome.
It's a steal. Go and visit. And we'll see you again.
Next
We're going
week.
to try and do this every Thursday at lunchtime.
Yes.
So bring your Sami to your laptop.
And join us, and good luck for Monday.
Have fun.